Welcome to day 149 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we are talking about mental growth, of course, mental growth all this month, and we're on step 4 of our growing process, which is W for wonder. Sometimes I think willpower, but mostly it's about wonder and being curious. What are some things that we can be curious of, especially with our mental growth and our mental capacities? Well, we want to ask ourselves today. Our action item is to say, what is one thing I actually wonder about? What is something you're curious about? Share it in the comments below so that we can learn from one another and see what all of us are curious about and areas that we would like to grow in mentally. That's step 7. And what does this have to do with the growing process? Well, one of the things that contributes to us growing and learning and expanding and having motivation to grow or learn or expand or become more or learn more or be more is if we're curious about things. Remember when you were a kid, you were curious about everything. Kids go through this why phase at like the 2 or 3 years mark, and they want to know how everything works. So they drive you crazy. I don't know if you ever experienced this, but I definitely did with both my kids and my granddaughters. Why? They'll ask you why about everything, and it just about blows your mind. But then you start thinking about how incredible it is that they want to understand how the world around them works and how it impacts them. And that's why they ask the question, why? Do you still ask why or how things work or questions about things that you just wonder or are curious about? If not, why not? What's shut you down and caused you to stop wanting to know things? I always want to know how things work. I don't know, maybe I was born that way, but I've always been pretty curious. So curiosity to me is a lot of what wonder's about. If we're curious about things, we're open to the possibility of understanding things, and that helps us to increase and grow mentally. It increases our mental capabilities. It allows us to think, especially to think for ourselves, which is somewhat lacking in this day and age, which is quite sad to me. Remember when I was growing up, it seemed like everybody had their own ideas and thought for themselves and contributed and pitched in and tried to make the world a better place. And now it's like everybody is just, not everybody, I hate to say and talk in absolutes, but a lot of people are just going with the flow and accepting things as they are, even though they're horrible, and acting like it's normal, but it's not normal. Emotional intelligence and self-awareness are ways to cultivate curiosity. Are you self-aware at all? And do you have emotional intelligence? Of course, we all think that we have emotional intelligence and that we're self-aware, but chances are not so much. I like to think I'm self-aware and that I'm emotionally intelligent, and then I'll do something really stupid or silly or immature or reactive versus proactive, and I'll be like, yeah, that was not one of my better moments. But then I learn from that and I try to do better next time. How creatively do you express yourself? Do you have any creative endeavors? Do you have any artistic things that you like to do? Do you have any hobbies or projects that allow you to be creative, to create, to wonder, to be curious, to try new strategies and new techniques or new activities? Are you using willpower to enhance your curiosity, to wonder about things? Because it takes a little bit of motivation and drive and desire to be curious about things. It's a lot easier to sit back, watch the boob tube, and not do anything than it is to actually step out of our comfort zone and actually understand ourselves better and wonder about what could be different, what might be different if I were slightly different. Ooh, there's a biggie for today. So, action item today, we're wondering, step 4 of our growing process. We're curious about ourselves, our mental growth. Why do you want to grow mentally? I think we did that with the 7 whys and goals, but beyond that, what are you curious about and what areas are you curious about exploring to grow mentally? That would be a good question for today. But I would just say our action item is, what do you wonder about? Share one thing below that you wonder about. Hey, I wonder how other people decide that they're going to do the things that they do. I wonder about how people go through life without actually thinking for themselves. They just go through the motions. I wonder about how I can be a better person and make the world a better place. So share just one thing that you wonder about below. And tomorrow we will jump into step 5 of our growing process. Have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Questions, ask. Trinity's stories in continuing in Guide 2 of the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page. If you have any other questions, you know what to do. Have an awesome day.